What if curiosity had a darker shade? What if a seemingly insignificant question had the power to alter everything? My story isn't centered around love. Instead, it delves into the fine line between desire and regret. While it's often believed that curiosity led to the downfall of the cat, it was a trigger for personal growth rather than a danger. It changed my life forever. Thank you for your unwavering support. If you crave more stories, subscribe and hit the notification bell to stay updated. Let's embark on this journey together. Never did I think I'd be in a position to question my marriage, let alone betray it. Ethan, my husband, was a paragon of virtue. He embodied love, dependability, and hard work, the ideal partner many dream of. Yet, even in the happiest of relationships, moments of monotony can creep in. I'm looking to settle down but feeling unfulfilled, not unhappy. It all started with a small, almost silly idea. One night while scrolling through my phone, I stumbled upon an article titled, "Does Size Actually Matter?" I initially brushed it off as clickbait, but couldn't resist clicking. As I read through the content, I was hit with a wave of introspection that led me to contemplate my marriage. Ethan and I had been together for over a decade, sharing a stable but lackluster relationship. He was dependable and comforting, yet somewhat average in every aspect, including some nuances that I had never fully considered until then. The article planted a seed of doubt in my mind. I found myself neither unhappy nor completely satisfied. The uncertainty I felt with Ethan consumed me. Questions about the significance of dimensions and what I might have been missing plagued my thoughts endlessly. A quiet but persistent voice nagged at me whenever I was alone with my thoughts. It was a heavy burden I couldn't bring myself to discuss with Ethan, the man I loved and trusted so deeply. How could I possibly broach such a sensitive topic with him? The weight of these thoughts pressed down on me relentlessly, despite my efforts to push them away. Yet my curiosity only grew stronger with time. One night, while Ethan slept soundly beside me, I found myself searching for answers on my phone. I delved into topics I had never imagined considering before, uncovering stories and discussions that shed light on the unknown. It felt like opening a floodgate of knowledge, completely captivating me. Chaos unfolded as women revealed their stories, hidden truths, and moments of remorse. Numerous voices emphasized the significance of size, affecting not just the physical realm, but also the emotional landscape. A curious mix of guilt and excitement enveloped me as I delved into the reading. Was it inappropriate to reflect? Was it misplaced to pursue comprehension? However, just pondering seemed inadequate. I reassured myself that my exploration was purely for research purposes, driven by curiosity and nothing more. I followed my curiosity and, by a stroke of luck, stumbled upon him. A man named Nathan. In his early 30s, he exuded confidence with a warm smile and a physique that matched his captivating photographs. Nathan had a charm that mixed flirtation with respect, approaching the topic of my interest fearlessly yet with subtlety. His messages made me smile, and our exchanges quickened my heartbeat. Living about an hour away, Nathan seemed eager to meet, always mindful of my boundaries while igniting a dormant sense of vitality within me. As I pondered the situation, I found it hard to believe yet no amount of self-criticism could sway my interest. I told myself it would be a momentary experience, just to indulge my curiosity. Out of simple curiosity for knowledge, I made a seemingly innocent choice that would lead to unforeseen complexities. When I decided to meet Nathan, I told Ethan that I was meeting an old friend for coffee. While not entirely false, my intention was to have coffee with Nathan, not a friend. Our meeting place was a quiet hotel on the outskirts of town, unassuming yet secure. As I drove there, nervous excitement churned in my stomach. Creating a profile had already pushed boundaries, but meeting him in person was a whole new level. Seeing Nathan waiting in the lobby, taller and more charming than expected, filled me with both comfort and unease. Developed in an instant, he instantly captivated me. He approached me with a relaxed and confident air, as if we were long-lost friends reuniting after a significant time apart. "Did you manage to accomplish it?" he inquired, his voice soothing like a warm embrace. Nerves silenced my ability to speak, and my mind raced with thoughts urging me to flee before making an irreversible decision. Despite this internal chaos, my body remained rooted in place, inexplicably drawn to him in a way I couldn't explain. We made efficient use of our time as Nathan had already secured a room in advance. Stepping inside, a wave of guilt washed over me. The weight of my wedding ring reminded me of the vows I was on the verge of breaking. "This is your last chance to back out," Nathan whispered softly, his eyes searching mine. I hesitated, my heart pounding in my chest. but the momentary doubt faded quickly. I desired this, I confessed. Speaking the words made the situation painfully real, grounding me in unsettling authenticity. The following hours passed in a blur. Nathan, resolute yet gentle, guided me through actions I never imagined I would be capable of. I embodied everything I had encountered in literature and much more. Confident, perceptive, and skilled in etiquette, I had never met anyone quite like him. He stirred feelings in me that I never knew were possible. For the first time in my life, I felt a pleasure so intense it was almost unbearable. Afterwards, we were engulfed in a profound silence. I stared at the ceiling, my mind in a whirlwind of emotions. A turbulent mix of guilt, contentment, exhilaration, and shame weaved together in a chaotic pattern. Nathan glanced at me, his fingers tracing gentle patterns on my arm. Was it meaningful? He asked softly. Couldn't bring myself to meet his eyes. I simply nodded, biting my lip to hold back tears. It had been more than worth it. That was the most chilling part. For one afternoon, I had risked everything. And deep down, I knew I would venture on that path again. Driving home, I found myself reflecting on the experience. Each moment with Nathan was measured against the years shared with Ethan. The distinction went beyond mere physicality. The profound, vibrant, sought-after sensation Nathan evoked within me was unbound. Stepping through the threshold, Ethan greeted me warmly. How was the coffee experience? He asked, enveloping me in his embrace. It was pleasant, I lied, my unwavering tone hiding the turmoil within. Later that night, lying in bed beside Ethan, my thoughts were consumed by Nathan. The intrigue that led me here had transformed into something dangerous. It had transcended curiosity to become a perilous obsession. I was captivated. Waking up the next morning after my second encounter with Nathan, I felt like a completely different person. The point of no return had been crossed. What began as curiosity had turned into something much more significant. The threat posed by the more dangerous situation loomed. Every time I looked at Ethan's innocent face, a knot of guilt twisted in my stomach. Yet no amount of guilt could overshadow the irresistible attraction Nathan had on me. Ethan remained oblivious, absorbed in his work and our daily routines, oblivious to the changes happening within me. I tried to make amends by being extra attentive at home, cooking his favorite meals, asking about his day, and showing affection. It felt like I was trying to compensate for the heavy guilt weighing on my heart. Ethan believed my actions were sincere, never suspecting the hidden secret lurking beneath my facade. However, my thoughts were consumed by Nathan. His messages made my heart race, and memories of his touch played on a loop in my mind while lying next to Ethan at night. A desire for Nathan started to stir deep within me. As I moved beyond mere physical urges and explored the depths of my emotions, I began to see the stark contrast between the excitement Nathan brought to my life and the sense of security I felt in Ethan's presence. With Nathan, there was a thrilling sense of desire, adventure, and vibrant energy, while Ethan offered stability but lacked stimulation. I convinced myself that it was reasonable to want both the security of my marriage and the passion Nathan provided. And gradually, my justifications for my actions became easier to fabricate. Running errands, hitting the gym, meeting friends for lunch. All served as convenient excuses for my absences, each falsehood delivered with a seemingly genuine smile that Ethan never questioned. I detested the web of deceit I wove around him and the reflection of myself they revealed. Yet I couldn't bring myself to stop. Nathan had awakened a sensation in me that I struggled to find elsewhere. Unforgettable and undeniable, Nathan always honored my boundaries, never pushing for more than I was comfortable offering. He respected the divide between our shared moments and my personal life, steering clear of discussions about Ethan. This clear distinction helped me define our connection. With Nathan, I found myself in a world free from the constraints of my marriage, guilt, and responsibilities. His presence brought clarity, revealing why I couldn't simply walk away. Our bond went beyond the physical. He made me feel seen and understood, unlocking the hidden aspect of myself. In his company, I transcended my roles as a wife and homemaker, embracing my bold, fearless essence. After yet another day spent with Nathan, I returned home that evening feeling ever Ethan waiting for me. Dinner had been prepared by him, and here I found myself betraying him time and time again. I pressed my lips to his cheek, murmuring my gratitude, all the while striving to banish thoughts of Nathan from my mind. That night, I made a decision to put an end to it, to sever ties with Nathan once and for all. Yet just a week later, I found myself once again enveloped in his embrace. The compulsion overshadowed my remorse, eclipsing the affection I still harbored for Ethan. Each time, I thought it would be the final occasion. I found myself returning to the very beginning once more. Nathan made no demands of me, yet he was far from unaware. Keep insisting this is the final time, he teased one afternoon as we lay entwined in the sheets. I chuckled faintly, yet the laughter held no trace of amusement. It's a tangled web, I finally admitted. Life always is, he said gently, tucking a strand of hair behind my ear. The reality was I had no desire to cease. Letting go of Nathan seemed similar to cutting away a part of myself. I knew deep down that I couldn't keep up this tirade forever. The lies were piling up, and I sensed that a breaking point was near. But for now, I pushed those thoughts away, feeling unprepared to face the consequences just yet. I had carefully constructed a facade, performance that I never thought I could pull off. To Ethan, I continued to play the role of the dutiful partner, laughing at his jokes, managing our daily routines, and making our life together seem effortless. But beneath the surface, I was falling apart. Nathan had become an irresistible fixation, not just for the physical thrill he provided, but for the emotions he stirred within me. In his presence, I felt like more than just Ethan's wife, a mere cog in the machine of ordinary life. I was alive with energy, bold in my pursuits, and completely captivated by the temptation of the taboo. Ethan remained blissfully unaware. His faith in me was unwavering, rendering my actions all the more surreal. My double life seemed to unfold in an alternate reality, untouched by the secure, stable confines of my marriage. Nathan and I began to gather more frequently. The moments we stole from time itself transformed into the pinnacle of my week. Each moment spent in your company felt as though I had entered a realm of dreams. Each time I found my way back to Ethan, it felt as though I was emerging from a dream into the clarity of reality. Yet dreams are fleeting. One afternoon, as Nathan and I reclined in a serene hotel room, he gazed at me with a fervor in his eyes that caused my heart to constrict. Surely you understand that this moment is fleeting, don't you? He spoke in a gentle whisper. The words took me by surprise. Could you clarify what you mean? I inquired, lifting myself onto one elbow. He gestured between us as he spoke, indicating the evident affection I held for my husband. Assuring me he had no intention of interfering with that bond, he pointed out that I couldn't continue to divide myself in such a manner. His words cut through the fog that clouded my mind, making me realize the danger I was flirting with. Nathan reached out to hold my hand, his touch both gentle and firm, urging me to acknowledge my true desires. As I left that day, his words lingered in my thoughts, stirring a sense of guilt I couldn't shake off. Though my heart belonged to Ethan, Nathan had revealed a void within me that I hadn't recognized. That night, lying beside Ethan in bed, sleep eluded me as I grappled with the truth that had been unearthed. I observed him standing strong and serene in the soft light, unaware of the turmoil brewing inside me. Thinking of all that Nathan had brought into my life, passion, excitement, the allure of the unknown, I also considered the potential losses that lay ahead. Ethan was more than just my husband. He was my partner, my closest confidant, the one who had built a life with me. I couldn't bear to lose that. As a new day dawned, I made up my mind to act. Meeting Nathan for the last time, I carried the weight of my decision with me. Walking into the room, I was greeted by Nathan's warm charm, but there was a hint of understanding in his eyes. Is this the moment? He asked gently. I nodded, tears welling up. I can no longer continue like this, Nathan. My love for my husband is boundless and my life brings me joy. I can no longer risk such chances. Nathan remained silent, offering no resistance or attempts to sway my decision. He effortlessly extended his arm and grasped my hand. I understand, he remarked. I sincerely wish you discover all that you seek. Through my tears, I managed a smile filled with gratitude for his understanding. Parting with him was akin to relinquishing a fragment of my very being. Yet deep down, I understood it was the necessary course of action. I took a deep breath, his words slicing through the fog that had enveloped my existence. He was indeed correct. Despite my desire to maintain a clear divide between the two realms, the reality was that I was dancing dangerously close to the flames. Nathan extended his hand toward mine, his touch both tender and resolute. It's essential for you to discern your desires, Emma. I'm not expressing this to distance myself from you. Yet it's clear that you cannot continue to navigate this precarious path. Eventually, it will break. His words lingered in my mind long after I disappeared. That day I left. For the first time, I couldn't ignore the guilt and pretend everything was fine. My love for Ethan was deep. I truly valued him. But with Nathan, I found a presence that I didn't even know was missing in my life. As I lay in bed next to Ethan that evening, sleep eluded me. I watched him breathe peacefully, illuminated by its soft light, unaware of the turmoil in my mind and the decisions I had to make. Thinking about all that Nathan had brought into my life filled me with passion and excitement, urging me to embrace the unknown. Yet, I also considered the potential losses that might come with it. Ethan was not just my husband, he was my partner, my closest companion, the one who had built a life with me. With the new day approaching, I made a decision to move forward. It was the last time I would meet Nathan. The weight of my decision hung heavily over me as I journeyed on. Upon entering the room, he greeted me with his usual charm, though a subtle knowing glint shimmered in his eyes. "Is this the moment?" he gently inquired, and nodded, feeling tears threatening to spill. "I've reached my limit, Nathan. My love for my husband is profound. My life is precious, and I can no longer take this risk." Nathan remained quiet, not challenging my choice or trying to change my mind. Instead, he reached out and took my hand. "I understand," he said, "and I genuinely hope you find what you're looking for." With tears in my eyes, I mustered a grateful smile, touched by his understanding. Saying goodbye to him felt like losing a piece of myself. Yet deep down, I knew it was necessary. Driving home that day, a sense of peace washed over me. The question that had once consumed me now seemed insignificant. It finally became clear to me. Did passion or excitement hold any significance? While they did have an impact, they fell short of being all-encompassing. The true essence resided in the life I had built alongside Ethan, the deep love and unwavering trust that connected us. Stepping through the doorway, there was Ethan, his familiar smile welcoming me. I embraced him with enthusiasm, burying my face in his chest to breathe in his comforting scent. "What's this for?" he asked with a soft laugh. "Just because," I replied, my voice filled with emotion. It was evident that my choice was the right one. Nathan had revealed a part of myself that had been hidden, revelation I hadn't known I was seeking. In the end, my family ties, the sacredness of my marriage, and the life I shared with Ethan held more value than any fleeting allure. Leaving wasn't easy, and the presence of Nathan would likely linger for some time. I had come to a decision. My relentless curiosity had nearly led me to lose everything. It also reminded me of what truly matters. Ethan was better off not knowing the truth. I decided to bear that burden alone. What truly mattered to him was knowing my love and understanding that our life together meant more than any fleeting temptation. And that was enough for me.